Major public service announcement. What you see before you is a man about his word and about his business. That's right. This is week 2. That means I'm being consistent. This is week 2, episode 2 of season 1 for Venchie Talks. I'm excited. Hopefully y'all excited. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, oh my God, we got some good stuff coming for you on this episode. But before we jump into it, it's custom now to go ahead and get y'all a little this ASMR. You see it. That's the ice right there, so you know what's popping off. McPoppington is about to happen. You know the vibes. Let me give y'all the ASMR real quick. You hear it? Let me go and give you that little sizzle dizzle. Hopefully y'all can hear that. We going straight up. Hold on. You got a taste test. Hold on. Put the pinky up. Okay. Oh yeah, we right. All right, so in true fashion, it's 2021 officially. We already a weekend. With that being said, it's been a eventful one to say the least. We're gonna cover what happened at the Capitol this week, as well as how we should be responding to it, in my opinion, as well as the stimulus check and them PS5s. So let's dive into it. I am Creator Venchie, and this is Venchie Talks. So first and foremost, before we jump into this, I have to give you this disclaimer. For those who may not know, I have been in the United States Army since I was 17. I am now 34. That is 17 years total in the military. One thing I've realized is that what I do in my career is all for my family. I am, at the end of the day, first and foremost, a black man. I endure the same injustices, certain heartbreak, certain frustrations that most people who look like me go through. But I understand something else: how to play this game of life. Because I'm in the military and because I've gone this far, I know exactly where I should stop on certain opinions. So I will tread lightly with what I'm about to say. What transpired in DC? What transpired at the Capitol, all of the footage that's been on social media, one thing is clear for me at least, and that is it has validated my thoughts of living in two separate Americas. And that's just the truth. If anybody opposes to that, you're welcome. One thing I've learned over time is that no matter what you say, no matter how many valid points you have, you will not be able to convince someone who is set in their ways. And I know a lot of us, we want to live in that world where it's kumbaya, where everybody gets along, everyone is on the same page. But I'm gonna be honest with you really quick. I'm a very blunt individual, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I really hope that the people who need to hear this, hear it loud and clear. That's not the way this world was set up. There has to be contrast. There has to be differences. That's just the way it is. For me, I learned that early on, and I act accordingly. I take my wins, I take my losses, and certain fights and battles, I choose to leave on the table because it's not worth it. In this situation, what happened in Washington, D.C., the things that I saw, the countless, let's just say, the countless contradictions that I saw was mind-boggling. Whether you're for or against Black Lives Matter and what their mission statement is, at the end of the day, I'm for humanity. I'm for right versus wrong. I'm not for living in a perfect world where people agree on everything, because that's just not the way the world was set up. But I do understand this. What was witnessed in this past week at the Capitol is a major contrast of what you would see if those group of people look like me or any other minority living in the United States. That's just point blank, period. Anybody who has an issue with that statement right there, please comment. Please hit me on social media. I'm all for a great debate. I've mentioned that before, and I'll mention it again. What we will not have is an argument. What we will not have is one of those long drawn out conversations where someone's supposed to jump onto the other side and agree, because I understand that that's not always the case. Coming from the group of people who look like me It's always an uphill battle to get to greatness. And along the way, you'll meet people who may not look like you, may not have the same background, may not have the same opinions about life, because trust me, I know. Like I said, I've been in the Army since I was 17. I've been to war with men and women who, quite frankly, have totally different views on politics, religion, finance, and quite frankly, in their equation, I don't fit. I don't belong. I know a lot of you guys wonder, well, how does one effectively fight the good fight? And that is understanding what the mission is. Moving past differences, getting the mission done. That doesn't mean because we got the mission done together that we're going to sing Kumbaya and be best friends after, or hang out and have a beer. A lot of times, there's been times I've gone to war with people who don't like me, basically because of the color of my skin. Some people have been blatant enough to say that. I don't fight about it. I don't become irate. I don't get mad. I understand the way the game is played. I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to live, come back to see my family. And I'm going to part ways with those people who, quite frankly, would never, ever be in my company if it wasn't for the position or the job that I have. I guess the message that I have for you when it comes to this topic, when it comes to what we've all witnessed at Capitol Hill and Washington, D.C., is this. Understand what you saw. Understand it fully and move accordingly. And for most of us, that means move the way we've already been moving. It's nothing new. It's just been highlighted. What you saw has just been highlighted for the majority of other Americans. A lot of us, we know how the game is played. So, take a look at it, take a mental note, bookmark it within your mind, and act accordingly. Alright, so before we go any further, we gotta pay those bills. And the first sponsor is coming from Falcon Blue Fitness. Falcon Blue Fitness, of course, is a fitness business, but with a twist. They offer both virtual online classes as well as mobile fitness boot camps. The mobile fitness boot camps are local to Central California. That's right, that's King City, Paso Robles, as well as San Luis Obispo. The virtual fitness boot camps is available to anyone across the United States. Right now they have a promo going on. It's the Get to Work sessions, buy 2 for 1. You heard it, buy a 2 for 1 of either the on-the-spot mobile fitness boot camp or the virtual fitness boot camp online. So make sure you guys sign up today. Offer ends January the 31st, 2021. So make sure you guys go visit falconbluefitness.com today, and no Blue Falcons allowed. Alright, so what we saw at the Capitol, while it may be an eye-opener for the majority of Americans, it's just another day in the neighborhood for a lot of us. With that being said, how does that correlate into, one, our mental health, as well as maintaining our personal development? And here's how. Understanding what you see. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the things that we see on social media, a lot of the things we see on the news, a lot of the things that we hear from so-called friends, acquaintances, and people in our circle, those are distractions. I've never seen one distraction that help you progress. So when it comes to identifying what those distractions are, and in order to identify what those distractions are, you have to ask yourself this. Once intercepting that information from whomever the source is, ask yourself this. By knowing this information, does that help me make money? Does that help me progress in life? Does it take care of my immediate family? And does it make me a better person? If either one of those questions, if the answer that you get is no, then guess what? It's not for you. It's time to dispose of what you heard, what you know, what you just learned, and keep moving towards a goal that is meant for you. Because a lot of times, and I'm seeing it in real time, family, friends, whomever they may be, arguing for countless hours online about what they saw at DC or in DC. A lot of those times that is very stressful, because no matter who you are, no matter how much of a great person you are, when it comes to disagreements, you tend to become irate over time, depending on what the response is from the person you're yelling at. what the response is from the person you're arguing with, what the response is from the person that you just have a disagreement with. So those three factors, those three instances will always result in stress, always result in headache, always result in some source of anger. And none of those three things that is derived from a disagreement is helping you move forward. So sometimes you got to understand exactly what the situation is. Even if you won those type of fights, even if you won those type of arguments, you're still going to lose in the end. So in order to maintain your mental health, in order to maintain your personal development, hell, in order to maintain setting a good example for the people who are in your immediate circle, you got to know when to let it go. And I get it. A lot of times it's easier said than done. A lot of times it's easier said than done. I've said this before. I am not the model citizen. I am not the prodigal son. I am not a saint. But when you understand exactly who you are, and this is through constant, quarterly, annually evaluations of yourself, identifying your faults, identifying exactly where you want to be, why you didn't get there. These are the factors. These are the factors that'll make you a better person. Now, if you keep running into the same situation and reacting to it the same way, you know what that means. You're going to get the same outcome. So, if nothing else, if you get nothing else from this segment, learn how to evaluate yourself to a T. In layman's terms, keep that same energy that you have about other people and what they should do about yourself. Be real with yourself. If it's something you're saying about yourself that you don't want to hear, guess what? You're on the right track. And now if you always have something positive to say about yourself and you can't do any wrong, you're in denial. Which one are you? And how will you adjust fire to make yourself better? And you know what? Sometimes what you want to say might not need to be said verbally. Sometimes you can say it through fashion. For me, I say it through my Kid'em Collective apparel. This Kid'em Collective tee right here screams, elevate the crown. If you do not own any Kid'em Collective apparel, make sure you jump on over to kid'emcollective.com, where right now they got a 20% off discount site-wide. Just utilize the promo code Venchie Talks and get yourself 20% off any piece of apparel on the website. And with Kid'em Collective, they know how to elevate the crown. So we jumping into our last segment. Before we jump into it, let me get a little sippity dippity. Just a little sippity dippity. I'm good. You good? You good? Okay, let me get a little sippity dippity. ASMR. All right, we good. All right, so with the last segment, there's definitely a relationship in this one. We're talking about that stimulus and that PS5. The Stimmy and the PS5, they got a thing going on. And the undeniable relationship between the two is pretty much with the stimulus check. I think it's what, $600. A lot of people are trying to get the PS5 with it. By all means, do what you will with what you can. If that's what you want to do with your money, kudos to you. But if there's another avenue I may take you down, it would be understanding that from a business standpoint, let me make that disclaimer, from a business standpoint, from a financial standpoint, okay, understanding the market. If you know that the PS5 is highly sought after, if you know that it's one of the hottest items on the streets right now, what's stopping you from downloading Robinhood, downloading an app called Webull, downloading an app called M1 Financial? Just look either three of those up. Look, thank me later, okay? If you on that level of financial thinking. If that's not your thing, disregard what I'm about to say. But if you know that that's a hot ticket item right now, it would behoove you. We love that in the Army. We say that it will behoove you. It will be paramount. Look up the ticker for PlayStation. Let me look it up right now, just so I'm not giving y'all the wrong information. The ticker is actually SNE. Those are the letters. Look it up on Robinhood, Webull, or M1 Financial, and I would say take a look at how much one share. That means one share, one piece of Sony's company, one piece of their stock is right now. I'm looking at it right now, and Sony stock right now is sitting at $103.99. That means if you wanted to, and I know for most people, they're not really worried about it, but I'm always here to try to give y'all great information. And coming from where I've come from, I know that those resources aren't readily available. In public schools, they don't teach us a lot about money management. They don't teach us a lot about investing. They don't teach us a lot about the stock market. But most people who are millionaires, multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires, this is their start. This is the information that they have allotted to them. So I feel as though my purpose is to give you a bit of that information now. I don't know who you are, but I do know that it's going to hit someone to have this information early on to make them better later on. So like I said, right now, Sony is at $103.99. I think the PlayStation 5 is about $499, $399 for like the digital copy. But if you do 103, I'm just going to do some quick math. I don't claim to be the smartest dude out here because I'm not. But let me just do some simple math. Give me a moment. All right, I'm pulling up the calculator right now. Say stimulus check is $600, right? Okay, $600 divided by, what did I say? $103.99. All right, so as you can see, and on most of the apps, I do know M1 Financial app as well as the Robinhood app, maybe the Weibo app, you can buy it in fractions. So you can buy whole in whatever's left from the money you invest. So for 5.769, so 5.769 or 5.7, let's just round it off. Rounding it off will be 5.8, but you're getting exactly what you see here. 5.769785556, but 5.7 shares of the stock you would get if you invested the $600 from your stimulus check into the Sony's company. So when you understand how the market works, when you understand how the economy works, when you study, especially the younger people, when y'all study the pop culture and how your generation is rocking, then you gotta tap in from the financial source. So that's all I got for you. Y'all getting the PS5? Are you getting it with your stimulus check? Are you gonna hold off on it? Or is it what you need right now? For my people following me on YouTube, let me know in the comment section. For people who don't follow me on YouTube, hey, follow me on YouTube so we can interact with each other. If you don't like YouTube, follow me on social media. Create a Venchie, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, as well as TikTok. So you can find me if you want to find me. For people who don't like the visual aspect, follow me on Google. Follow me on Apple. Follow me on Spotify. I'm there. I'm not hard to find. I'm out here and I'm here to give you that work. I'm here to help you get to work. All right, so that brings me to a closing of episode 2 of Venchie Talks. First and foremost, like I said, I'm always grateful for anybody who tunes in, returning listeners or new listeners. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to hear just a bit of my opinion on things that are going on in the world, how you can develop yourself personally as well as from a business standpoint, also maintaining your mental health. So until next week, I know this life ain't perfect, but it's worth it. This has been Venchie Talks, and get to work.